Oh my gosh. I thought about Beauty and the Beast. I don't want to say you don't have to work as hard because that's not true, but your business can be more effective when your things are priced correctly, is really what I'm trying to say. I ordered seeds already for next year. I'm already thinking and planning and prepping my soil and putting the irrigation down for next year.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Vendmae podcast. We are Vendmae Brand Builders podcast. And if you've seen me before, of course, you know my name is Morgan. But for those who are new here, hello, I'm Morgan, and I am the host for this special podcast. Now, Vendmae and at this current space is where we connect the brand builders and discuss their areas of expertise in their business or in business in general. And of course, because they know what they know, they are here to share that information so that you yourself can apply it in your business or in your current careers. So today we have a special guest. I can't even wait to say her name because it just gives me good vibes. We have Saige, who is the CEO of Fern, and Flower Bar. How are you, Saige?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great today. Thank you for asking.
Good. So we had an opportunity to speak with you the other day, but now this is an opportunity for the world to know who you are. First, we're going to do an icebreaker game. It's going to be a music game. And then after that, so that's our time to have fun. We're going to have fun the whole time, but that's our time to really have fun.
Of course.
And then after that, if you don't mind, we just want to ask you some questions in regards to what it is that you do before we get into the questions for today. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All right, so this is a music game. Now, I tell people you can hum it, you can sing it, you can rap it, you can beatbox it, right? Make it your thing. But I'm going to give you like 6 seconds to think of the song, okay? So I'm going to throw a word out.
Gosh.
It's okay, no pressure. I'm going to throw a word out, and whatever song you can think of that has that word in it, feel free to share it. Now, because of your business, I used words that pertain to your business.
Okay.
All right, so your first word is beauty.
Oh my gosh. I thought about Beauty and the Beast.
Listen, Saige, this is how we're here, because when I clicked that word, when I chose that word, I was like, she's not going to sing a Drew Hill song. She'll sing Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
and you did that. You did that. Cool. Okay. All right. So your next word is sweet.
Oh. Sweet Home Alabama.
Good. Oh, you're good. And your last word is happy.
Because I'm happy all along if you feel.
Good job, Saige. You did great. You were nervous, but you did it. Good job.
I did it.
Good job. All right. Well,
the wheels were turning.
Well, you succeeded, and that was
Thanks.
our icebreaker to usher us into where we're going now. So, if you don't mind, can you first reintroduce yourself to everyone, and then tell us about Fern Florist and Flower Bar?
So my name is Saige Harris. I'm originally from Hawaii, and my husband and I moved here about 2 years ago, and that's when I started my own business. So I have a background in tropical agriculture, and then as I became an adult and I started to think about careers, that's kind of when I started to jump into floral design and start to really see how I could take like my love for plant physiology and science and how I could wrap that into being a florist or in floristry of some sort. So when we first started the business, we even right now, we don't have a storefront. So our main thing is we travel. And so when we travel, what we do is we do flower bars. And we primarily did that the first year. And then, so this is year 2, we're going on year 3. We're starting to do full-blown weddings and corporate events, some community work as well, and things like that. Yeah.
I love it. And this is so unique because, I mean, I've interviewed entrepreneurs before, But we've never had a florist. We've never had someone that has a flower business, right? I think it's cool. I like it. And I love flowers. So this is great. It's all smiles over here.
I think florists, if I may, I think a lot of times florists, when we think of them, we think of like such the older generation. And so I think I just turned 25. So I think like even when I tell other people that I'm a florist, people are a little surprised by that.
It's probably like a florist. That's not for someone that's young, but it's like, no, like everything's evolving and there's so much creativity. Just like, so everyone turn your attention to the back. She has this beautiful flower arrangement, but that alone, that's just creative. Like, so to see you occupying that space, that's pretty cool.
Thanks.
So now we know that we're going to be discussing, the area of expertise in which you thrive in, which is going to be customer service and pricing. So we're going to go ahead and get into the questions, and just feel free to share your intake or how we can develop better as entrepreneurs in the area of customer service as well as pricing. Okay, so my first question for you is, how would you define good customer service, and what are the qualities of good customer service?
At least in the floral design world, one of our biggest sort of obstacles is whatever the customer has in their mind, we need to bring to life. Okay. So the ability to sit down and really ask, what do you want? What are the things you like? What do you need these for? And how can we make sure that we can bring that to life is really important. This rarely happens, but sometimes people might say, hey, I don't like that particular flower or how it's sitting or whatnot in regards to an arrangement. So the customer service side of me says, instead of saying, oh, sorry, you paid for that, you got to get out of here, I say, how can we fix that for you? What exactly do you not like? Because even when I'm doing a simple bouquet at a pop-up, I ask the customer, how do you like this? Can I take anything out for you? Can I put anything in? To me, it's about making the person happy, while keeping boundaries for ourselves as human beings. But, how can they walk away feeling like they spent their hard-earned money on something that they can, value and appreciate, and that can bring them joy as well? Yeah.
I love that. So, and one thing that I was thinking about as you were answering that question is, when I think of what it is that you do and the creativity that goes into it, right? The customer service aspect that says, well, what do you not like about it? And to me, it's like, I would feel like, but I created that. I know it's good. But of course, to them, right? What do we hear all the time? The customer's always right. So I love the fact that you create a space for them to critique. You don't take it personal, but you still do create those boundaries for yourself so that, of course, both people can feel, I guess, heard and valued and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. So for the emerging, current, and future entrepreneurs that want to improve on their customer service skills, what are some key steps that they can take?
I think to just take a step back and think about how you want to be treated as a customer, I think is really important. How do you want to be talked to? Do you want to just be, handed the product, or do you want to be, do you want the product to be explained to you? Do you want to be given options? And of course, there are other guidelines or whatever, but that's kind of what I think about for that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to, so someone like myself, right? I work in customer service, so I'm a teacher, but I've worked in retail. I currently work in retail, and I know that I have good customer service, but that just comes natural to me. So for the people that, of course, want to build upon those skills, like, you've been to a few stores where someone could have been nicer, and you're probably questioning and asking yourself, like, why are you working here? Like, where, So how should one build on those skills, and how is it, how can one gauge if their customer service even needs some work?
Yeah, I guess, educate yourself on the products so that when the customer, approaches you and has questions, you can respond appropriately and make them feel comfortable in whatever environment they're in. I think you can see or take a look at the people around you and see how they might be operating in the customer service space. And once in a while, I'll go and peep around at different reviews for different florists or whatnot to see what good things people have to say. And oftentimes they will be, they were responsive. These are the things they'll positively say in the review. They're responsive, their pricing was clear, yada, yada, yada. So I think maybe even looking at the people in the industry who are also doing well could be another sort of stepping stone in that regard. Yeah.
And when you just said that, it clicked for me that customer service isn't always how you speak. So for me, I currently work in a business that's already created. It's been here for some time now. So I've always just thought to myself that customer service was how I speak to people, my availability, but it's also the company within itself. So it's
For
interesting
sure.
that you say that even something as simple as like where you place marketing or just making things easy for customers to access, that's also a good form of customer service in itself.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure.
Wow, I just thought about that. Okay. Learn something new. Okay, so how can customer service, good or bad, affect an entrepreneur's business and brand?
I instantly just thought about trust. I think if you are able to give good customer service in regards to being able to talk with them and show them examples of things, whatever, that creates trust between the customer and the seller or the owner or whatever. So I think trust would be the answer of that question, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Um, I guess that would also come back to someone who is inquiring about your business, your product, and things of that nature. Being able to feel like even out the interaction, the accessibility, the vibes, or whatever the case might be, it creates.
Yeah.
Even if no one says anything to you, you'll think to yourself like, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna support this again. But
Exactly.
everyone has an experience of somewhere where it's just like, yep, I'm not coming back here.
Not good
So,
vibes. Yeah, I don't want to. If someone doesn't trust you and really like you, I don't think they're going to want to buy anything from you.
for sure.
I think this is why social media is a huge thing and why social influencers are huge. So I like you, so I'll buy your workout outfit or I'll buy your skincare. So, that's why when I'm out working, I try to have a smile and say hello. And even if they pass by, at least they'll say, oh, she was nice. And then next week, when grandma needs a bouquet for her birthday, they might swing back around.
For
So,
sure. For
yeah.
sure. So I have a question, and if you don't know
Yeah.
the answer to this, that's okay.
Okay.
So you mentioned social media, and we know that people are branding, of course, their businesses via social media and things of that nature. But we also know that entrepreneurs or people in general don't always know how to speak to said customers, and that is a part of customer service. Whether there might be customers that are they're asking specific questions. They're trying to change availability. Anything can happen. And I haven't experienced this for myself, but I've seen where people, their response to customers isn't so pleasant. And it's also over social media. And you see the comments of, I really wanted to support this business, but the customer service was just off. And then you know how fast that type of news or that those it can spread, and
For
now
sure.
it's affected your business because of how you spoke to one person. So is there anything that you can say to that when it comes to having a business that's on social media and just your engagement, even through text, because someone can't always articulate your tone by reading? Does that make any sense?
It totally does. I think the fact that, you know, 50 years ago or whatever, it's not, It's not you being the business. Now it's really, especially for small businesses, you
Yeah.
are the business. Like for me personally, I oftentimes will follow the business and the business owner because I just like them. And I think now because people are able to tap into people's personal lives more, I think people need to be more careful. Like even the vehicle I drive is sort of, it's noticeable. It's very noticeable. So for example, when I'm pulling out of an event or I'm pulling up to an event, I'm not acting wild. I don't normally act wild, but people nowadays very much connect the two. And I
Yes.
guess, you know, the owner could pull back and whatnot. But I think people have to be careful of that. And I will
Yeah.
say that sometimes when I am replying to people via text or social media, whatever, it's never I, it's always we or us. And oftentimes I don't even say, oh, you're talking to Saige Harris. Even if I'm doing a delivery, I'll say one of our drivers will be there at, you know, so and so time, location, whatever. So, as much as there is a benefit of blending the two, I also very much value separating those things,
Yes. Yeah.
work and home sort of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. And I guess that's also the tricky part is that sometimes it gets very intertwined. And
100%.
so how someone knows you is how them know your business. But those two can be two different things because you could not be such a nice person, but your business and your product is amazing.
Yeah.
So what you're saying to even being careful about one intertwining the two, and then just even making sure on both of those, because it's your brand, you are your brand, right? And
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
speaks to you. So yeah, that's definitely important. Thank you for that. Now we already spoke to customer service coming naturally to some. Some people do struggle with it. Of course,
Yeah.
there are people who have these great ideas. They bring them to life, but they struggle with how to speak to people, how to, I guess, orchestrate what customer service even looks like. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into the pricing aspect because both of those, I'm realizing since speaking to you, they go hand in hand. So when it comes to pricing, how important is that to business owners?
I think it's incredibly important because at the end of the day, yes, we run our own business, and you know, the ceiling, in so many words, can be, you know, basically, I mean, and how much money we make, blah blah blah. But it all comes down to the numbers, and even if you, I guess a good example of this is like I look at some other florists and they sell such big bouquets for such a small price. And it takes a lot of work to clean those bouquets and make those bouquets and whatnot. And for them to reach, you know, $300, whatever, it takes them so much time and customer purchases to reach that goal. But if you market your things correctly and you use higher priced ingredients at a higher price bracket, then I don't need to put in so much effort. I don't need to clean as many stems to maybe reach a financial goal. So I guess what I'm trying to say is price your things correctly, and you know, you don't have to, I guess, I don't want to say you don't have to work as hard because that's not true, but
Yeah.
your business can be more effective when your things are priced correctly, is really what I'm trying to say. Yes.
You know, it's great. So, a little bit of a backstory. So I have
Yeah.
these pencils, right? And I'm not marketing them how I should, right? Great idea, but I'm just, it's a lot. Entrepreneurship is a lot, right? But
It
even
really is.
when I decided to create it, when I found the place to go through, and then even me, of course, investing in it myself, something like even like the packets that it goes into, the labels and things of that nature, there was money that was put out there, right? But when it came to me trying to figure out like, well, how much should I charge these for? And this is going into my next question. I didn't want to lowball myself, but I also didn't want to create something that was just extremely like high, right? I wanted something that was in the middle and reasonable
Affordable.
for those who I was marketing, right? So how can entrepreneurs set their prices, for their products without lowballing themselves? Because you mentioned buying higher quality things, but then that also is going to require people to pay higher prices.
It's so tricky.
So how can you go about that?
You need to separate basically your self-worth from your product and your work. It's something that another florist taught me, because I think, oh, I didn't do this isn't so pretty. Oh, all the petals that oh, this is really expensive. No one would buy that. So once I because in floral design, there's a different sort of pricing formula that we can even talk about compared to like a hard good per se. So kind of once I took my feelings out of the pricing, and I just kind of went with this formula, and I kind of just did that, I feel like I was able to bump up my prices, and I didn't even notice people cared. And I do think at some point, people trusted me and they knew my face. And so at one point I increased my prices a little bit by like $2 or $3, per stem basically. But like I said, once I removed like my emotions and I had my self-worth so wrapped up in these things, like, oh, if people aren't buying them, they don't like me. Oh, I should drop my prices. So it's hard. It really is. And going into any type of business, I feel like it emotionally just like whipped me into shape. Like
Yeah.
when I go out and I work, I kind of just go on autopilot, because people don't know the background of how much things cost. They just see the final product, and they see, from point A to point B kind of thing. So, yeah.
What's good? Sometimes when I'm looking at how much things cost, it makes sense to me. Like if I look at a product and then I look at the price and I'm like, makes sense. But then there are those things where I'm like, why does this cost this much?
Yeah.
Like, right? So not even in just what it is that you do, but in the creation of products in general, the look of things and I'm going to speak for myself. If things look a particular way, even if it's something very small, the price, it just makes it make sense, right? Because I know that someone put in, like for you specifically, you can tell that you put a lot of work into just how to arrange things. Girl, I bought some sunflowers and some hydrangeas. And I was trying to create my own little arrangement, and it's beautiful. It's my background on my phone, right?
Good.
But it took me so long just to figure out the placement of it. And for you, clearly, it comes very naturally. So it makes certain products, it just makes sense why they are what they are, because it's not just the cost, but it's just the creativity and the product of it, in its own right. Yeah.
And I truly feel like art is very hard to price. I can easily price the vase it's in, but to price the time it took to put it together, to go drive and pick it up, or in my case, I grow a lot of my things too. It's hard to price that. So, it's just another factor that us business owners have to think about and deal with.
Before we move to the next question, you grow?
Yeah.
You grow?
Yeah, a mixture. So it's too cold now. The frost just hit. So like my zinnias, I had a couple of like Rebecca, not sunflowers, snapdragons, yada yada, that I had in the yard just last night. Got frosted over, so they're donezo. It's okay.
Aw.
But yeah, last year I did a little bit of it. This year I did a lot more of it. More of the wildflower things, sort of the like set and forget. So cosmos are really easy to grow, things like that. So I started to grow my own things because people would ask, like when I go to farmers markets, yada yada, do you grow them? Yeah, I do, or these I don't, whatever. And it was another sort of enticing factor for customers, I will say that.
Yeah, it enticed me. That's why I had to shift from the question to asking you that question, because it's like, wow, to grow a flower. Wow.
Right?
It's crazy.
Thanks.
That's crazy. That's time. Now it makes sense, Saige. If
Right.
I grow a flower and then I have to pick it and then put it, oh yeah, the price
So,
is gonna have to reflect that
right.
for sure.
To give you an example, I ordered seeds already for next year. I'm already thinking and planning and prepping my soil and putting the irrigation down for next year.
Wow.
So it's like, how do you, goes back, it circles all around to how do you price your
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
And, it's part of it does circle around, back to almost, your self-worth. It's like, how much is my time worth? And
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So it's all very interesting.
Because even the time in factoring how long a flower is going to last before, like for instance, for a wedding, you're probably factoring in when to grow it, when to pick it, when to create the arrangement in itself. So yeah, it specifically for you because you're here, there's a long thought process that you have to be very intentional about. So yeah, you can't lowball yourself, and you have to know how much you're worth because you're mentally putting a lot into
Oh,
what it
so
is that you
much.
do specifically.
Thanks.
You got patience, girl. You got patience. Now, does marketing a product setting, how you market it, does that go hand in hand with the pricing of it?
Can you give me an example of what you mean?
So, for instance, let's go to your Instagram. If you went to your Instagram, people will see all the different arrangements in which you have, right? And
Yeah,
it's how you market it that create the interest of people wanting to purchase it.
for sure.
So, does how you market your product, does it help with, I guess, creating the pricing of it? Does that make sense?
Sort of. I mean, like, depending on the locations I go to, for example, sometimes I'll mess around with my pricing, say if it's a seasonal product or if I need a quick turnaround on a certain flower or something, I'll mess around with the pricing there. I definitely spend a lot of time on marketing, I guess, my website and putting in a lot of effort on sort of letting people know that my things are pretty affordable in regards to pricing compared to some of my other competitors in the area. So, yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And specifically for you, because you're constantly, it's like, I feel like because your product looks different every single time, you market a lot. There's consistent posting. There's just I guess your presence on your website, your social media, it's consistent because you're never creating the same thing one time. So you
Yeah.
always, it's to me it sounds like you always have something to show, something to market.
I try. I absolutely. Again, I think it circles around to trust. And because there is flexibility in everything I create, there still needs to be some sort of consistency. Whether that's color palette or if that's a seasonal sort of thing or whatnot. Yeah, that's kind of the things I think about.
Okay. Now, this question just popped into my head before I get to the one that was to come before that. With where we are now, I guess just in life, because life is expensive, right?
Yes.
Entrepreneurs, because they're funding for the majority, they're funding their own businesses because the cost of everything is increasing. Are you noticing that the cost of the products that are being created are increasing, or how do you? It has to make sense. You have to be able to bring in just as much as you probably put out or more. So, how does that go into effect when it comes to pricing? Just trying to adapt to where we are now, just in the market that we're in now.
Yeah, so I try to just follow the normal sort of florist formula, which
Okay.
I'll be honest and share. Basically, each stem is about a 3.5%, I'm sorry, not percent, markup. So say if it was a dollar stem, it would cost, $3.50 at the end of the
Okay.
day. Again, that's I go out there, I drive, I grab
Yeah.
them, I take them, I prep them, the things that people don't think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
But totally lost my train of thought.
No, it's okay. I was asking just with the inflation or the
Yes,
increase of how much things cost. How does that go into increasing pricing?
Basically, I just follow the numbers.
Okay.
I try not to give a flying rat what my heart tells me or what my emotions tell me, because at the end of the day, it's business and we're here for money.
Yeah,
We're here
for
to
sure.
make money.
There we
And
go.
so even after COVID, actually, flowers increased by, I don't want to say a wrong number, but when I saw the data, it was a lot. And so people not in the floral world, and people in the floral world were shocked by that. But again, the rent doesn't go away. The lights need to stay on. So we keep our percentages and our markups, and we just keep it pushing.
And the thing about it is that no matter how much things go up, like we'll complain about it, but we're still gonna
Yeah,
purchase it.
exactly.
So it's just because that everyone is aware that that's just where we are, and you understand it. Well,
Yeah.
no, let me backtrack. I don't understand it why everything is so high, but you get why people are doing what it is that they're doing, and it's because everyone, like you said, we have to sustain the lifestyles in which we have, right? While also making sure that we are being intentional about what it is that we put out.
Right.
Now, in terms of just the target audience, should pricing be based on who the target audience is, and how does that edge out your competition as well?
I'll answer the first part of the question. Uh, to sound boring like a record, I try to just keep it simple because I'm really a one woman show. So, I think when it comes to sort of what my demographic is or what I gear things to, I don't mess around with prices. I just have my formula and I keep it moving. I think I will sort of maybe change up the type of vase I use, the different color scheme. Will I put ribbon? That's kind of what I change as far as who I'm marketing to. But no, I will say if you're marketing for special events for weddings,
Yeah.
that is like a whole nother ball game that I didn't even know before getting into the floral world, why did my wedding flowers cost this much or blah blah blah. And that is a whole nother formula that we put on a single stem because, for example, I've been talking with the bride for a couple months now and I haven't gotten paid for that. And that is hours and hours and hours of time researching, talking with her. What do you like? What don't you like? And so we kind of get paid at the end of, when the event's over and whatnot. So yeah, I try to keep it really simple because there's so many other factors that us business owners have to be thinking about. And if we can simplify it and just say, this is our pricing, we'll move on to the next thing because I have a delivery at a 5 p.m. and I just gotta go. So yeah, that's kind of my long-winded reason. Yeah.
No, listen. So I'm the type of person that I don't necessarily, when it comes to flowers specifically, I like what I like, right? It's this one flower. Oh my God. It's round and it has like little leaves. What is that?
Is it big?
Yes. It's like a ball. No, it's not over there. Let me look. Because it's like one of my favorite flowers now. Mind you, sunflower is my favorite flower. No, it comes in like pink. And it's called it's not a hydrangea. It starts with a P.
Yeah, it's right here. Hold on. It's called a protea. Protea.
Oh, those are pretty.
Is this the one you're talking about?
No, but that's pretty too.
Oh.
No, oh my God, I'm
It's
sorry.
gonna bother me too.
Yes, it's gonna be, and see, but this is the reason why this is so, it's okay that we're doing this. Oh my gosh. Is this it? No. when I figure it out, girl, I'm gonna have to. Oh, here goes. You mind if I
Okay, you
show
tell
you?
me.
All
Go for
right.
it.
It looks like this. I'm sorry, guys. I have to do this because she'll know. What's that?
Oh, it's a peony.
Yes, I love. Oh,
Yes.
they're so pretty, right? So someone like me, right?
Hmm.
When I get married, thank Jesus. Um, that's something that I want. I want paninis
Hmm.
and I want sunflowers. I'd probably
Peonies.
be Did I say paninis?
Yeah, like the sandwich.
Peonies.
You can have paninis at your wedding too.
But I want
Yes.
those and sunflowers. I would probably want to be like
Cute.
most simple people, because I also, and the reason why I like the word trust is because when you see that someone knows what they're doing,
Hmm.
anywhere that I go, I'm more so, well, what do you think? Like when people say, well, what do you want? I'm like, well, what do you think is good? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know this product more than me.
Hmm.
I just want to show up and
Yeah.
you just give them to me and they be pretty. So I feel like situations like that, you might have the brides that know like where they want certain flowers placed. And when you
Oh
said
yeah.
that you spend hours, I can only imagine just the
Yeah.
wheels that spin in your head. So
There's a
listen.
lot. I sometimes I close my eyes and I see flowers. And it's like sometimes, like you said, some people know what they want and
Uh-huh.
some people they don't. And it's like I've had brides where, for a few months, oh, this is what I want. And then
Hmm.
2 months before the wedding, nah, this is what I want instead.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you never know. And again, with art, it's like it's flowing like water, and so sort of going back to what I said, I just create boundaries for myself, which is 1 month before your wedding, you need to decide, my love. Like, you have to decide because I have to order my things and plan
Put it
and make sure
together.
that I can bring your vision to life, and I
Hmm.
gotta have some time for that.
First of all, when you just said, I don't know if it's your name, it's multiple things. Three things. You're from Hawaii.
Yes.
Your name is Sage. And
Yes.
you just said sometimes you close your eyes and you see flowers.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
This sounds like the most peaceful life.
Oh,
You're
man.
you're in the right business, because what you create, it means something to someone.
I'm a part
Like,
of people's special moments.
yes.
I am,
Yeah,
and
that's
special
amazing.
and heartbreaking and memorable moments, and yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think, I originally went to school for nursing because I love to. I had double knee surgeries as a child, and I got to
Hmm.
watch, nurses be smart and beautiful and helpful,
Hmm.
and I was like, I want to do that.
Hmm.
And I love anatomy and physiology, but I really just kind of sat down with myself and said, I really want to do art.
Yeah.
I want to do something a little bit more, not frou-frou, but free and,
Yeah.
different. But I still love the physiology part of things. So
Hmm.
that's why I decided to do plant physiology. And, okay, you graduated, what next? And so I never felt like I was good at painting or drawing or things like that. But once I sort of like started arranging things and picked up flowers and saw that this was an actual career, I lost my mind. I was like, this is it. And it's going to be hard, but I just got to go for it. And I mean, growing up in Hawaii too, I tell people you come out of the womb knowing how to make leis and flower crowns and things like that. So
Hmm.
that's why like I love my tropicals that I
Yeah.
really only started recently doing
Hmm.
because we're definitely getting off the topic of pricing, but
No, that's okay.
I I definitely started to do the work that I thought people wanted. And I feel like people here, there's a lot of people who aren't necessarily my culture, if you get my drift. And I thought they want these things. And okay, I'm happy to make them and make them look pretty. And I did find joy in them. But recently I was like, you know what? You know how to do this business thing now. You know how to
Yeah.
market. You know how to talk to people. Like,
Yeah.
you got to do what you want to do because you have the amazing freedom to do so.
Yeah.
And so, really, only that flip for me was just incorporating tropicals. I wanted to change the structure of the art I was making, and I
Hmm.
wanted to change my materials. And I was really
Hmm.
scared of that, to
Hmm.
be honest, because it felt like I was really jumping into a black hole, like into the wide ocean. But then I also use social media as a tool to see, is anybody else doing what I want to do and being successful? And there really was. And what's also great is they're also very expensive things, you know, because oftentimes these things come from either Hawaii or Australia or Europe or South America or things like that. So, and again, wrapping this to pricing, because they're more expensive, I was afraid to take that leap. But this is something I felt a gap in me. And I just decided, you know, okay, they're going to be more expensive, but this is what I want to do. And this is what's going to make me happy.
Yeah.
And I only recently did that flip, and I'm really proud of myself for it. So,
Listen,
yeah,
pat yourself on the back.
thanks.
Good job. Kiss your brain. Tell my kids all the time. Kiss your brain.
Thank
So
you.
one thing I when you said you wanted to go into nursing, I feel like you are, but you're just doing it in a different way. You're nursing emotions, whether they
Yeah.
might be you sad or something exciting and joyful and things of that nature, and then it all just ties into what it is that you do. And the reason why I love the tropical side of it is because I feel like that's your signature
I do too.
in arrangement. So that's really how everything just kind of ties in to your culture and where you're from.
Oh, yeah.
And you're currently here in the States, right? But
Yeah.
maybe something like that makes you makes you feel like you are home.
It sets me apart too.
Yes,
And
yes.
it makes a great marketing feature, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
as well.
When we were on the phone, was it Tuesday, and you said that you were from Hawaii, I was like, wait, what? I've never just known, or been able, spoken to someone who is from Hawaii. Of course, we people go on vacation, but to actually, speak to and meet someone that's actually from there and is incorporating it in what it is that they do here and sharing that with everyone that's here. Because, listen, I hope to touch the lands of Hawaii one day, okay? But
Yes.
even if I don't, something like that would give me a sense that I was there. So all of this
Yeah.
is really amazing. And this has been very pivotal information that you've shared with us today. So can you leave our viewers with the tip that we may not have discussed here that would help with their brand, whether it be something, a word of encouragement or just that last Vendmae, what we call the Vendmae tip of the day? Is there something that you could say to those watching now?
I think if you're interested in something and you want to start your own business, I think do as much research as you can and see if there's someone in your field who is willing to, like, who you just go work for free. Go, for example, go wash their flower buckets and go help them trim stems. And along the way, I trust that you will learn, you'll get a peek behind the curtains. And that is something I kind of lacked in the beginning. And I wish if I could go back, I would freelance. It's like being a contractor for the government or whatever. I wish I could have freelanced with these people. And even now, almost 3 years into the business, when I still go freelance here and there, I learn so much from people.
Yeah.
So I think don't be afraid of something new. I think reach out your hand and you'll be surprised who would reach back and, help, because we all started from point A, and none of us were born with any of the information that the experts have now. We all learn from experience and from other people sharing their experience and knowledge with us. And I think, for me, practice. You were kind enough to say, like, it looks like you just whipped that together or whatever. There was an arrangement earlier today that I looked at and I felt like, "Ugh, this sucks." Like, I felt like a failure. Like, I am not a florist. But I just said, keep working with it, keep doing it. And at the end, I loved it. So So just try and don't be afraid to try and keep it moving and don't be afraid to learn.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Saige. Now, listen, I have loved talking to you. Okay. Today at work was the kids were lots. But to have this time to speak with you, of course, I don't know. It's the Saige part. I think it's everything about you, right? But thank you so much for taking your time to speak with us and educate us here at Vendmae. We want to support you in everything it is that you do moving forward. So always create that space to invite us in there so that we can support you from now moving forward, because we know that you're going to do some amazing things here, and you're close. Okay, you're in the DMV area, so that's great.
Yes.
But can you tell us where we can find you? Website, social media, can you share that information?
Absolutely. So we're really active on Instagram. So we post where we will be popping up. So we do have a flower truck, actually. So we pop up out of our flower truck. At this time of year, we have a ton of classes all the way from Maryland down to Richmond. So we do bouquet making classes, wreath making classes as well. All of that information can be found either on our Instagram or on our website. And you can also order things from us via our website as well, bouquets, arrangements, things like that. But yeah, Instagram or our website is the best way you can communicate with us. And yeah.
All right, well, Saige, you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of your week, and we cannot wait to connect with you in the future, okay?
Thank you.
All right, everyone, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube here, as well as following us on Instagram. Till next time, we'll talk to you all later. Bye.